Ooh, good afternoon, everybody. Oh, I've been busy, man. I've been busy, real busy. So, just had that tropical storm come through here, so we survived once again. So, let's call this one Why Am I Getting in Trouble? But nobody's saying nothing to the deacon. So, I grew up in a small church, and my pop was a pastor, and they were trying to expand the membership. So they found this place where this person allowed them to hold a service in their house. Now this house was constructed like it wasn't no real big house, but the way it was designed was like you go in, then you made a turn, so they had enough room to have maybe about 30 chairs in there, then a little corner, and the pulpit was over this way. So my pop got up and he was preaching and stuff, right? This was in the middle of the winter time, so they had this thing called a coal stove. They put the coal in there, man, and that heat started blasting. Man, this thing was like a blast furnace, man. I mean, we in there sweating. I mean, it was some incredible heat and stuff, right? So it had to be every bit 100 degrees in there, right? So we're having night service, and over in the corner, off the side was a deacon, and my sister was sitting beside me. We was playing around, and this deacon was over there snoring, and his head was bobbing. Now my pop couldn't see the deacon, but we could see the deacon from where we was, right? So I tried not to laugh, but I'm feeding off my sister, she feeding off me, and I just couldn't stop, man. I just couldn't stop. So, we were trying to contain ourselves, but it wasn't our fault, right? And the deacon was snoring sometime, and the person that snore, and then they start choking, and they look up and look around like, is anybody seeing? Yeah, the whole church looking right at you. I mean, it's only about 8 of us in there, so, who else gonna not see you? Come on now. So I laughed a little bit too much. And he stopped preaching. My pop stopped preaching. And he said, Brother Eulum, do you have something you would like to share with the congregation? And the first thing I thought, I was like, congregation? There's only 8 people in here. But hey, it was a thought. Didn't come out my lips. It was just a thought. So he said, come on up here and share it, right? So I'm walking up to the front of the church. And man, I'm trying to say something. My father said, so what you got to say? Whew. So I was like, man, how am I going to get out of this? And I'm looking at my mother, and I'm like, Lord, help me, because I know she going to get me. After church, I'm just thinking about that whooping that she going to put on me and stuff. I tried to come up with something in my mind, but my mind was blank. And plus, my sister was still in the corner, and she was laughing. So I get in front of the church, and I started laughing again. I mean, I just can't contain it. It's just one of them days or something, right? So he said, you go and sit down, boy. Just go sit down, right? And I walked past, and the deacon was still snoring. And I'm like, how come nobody said nothing? How come nobody came to my emotional rescue? Somebody else could see that deacon over there doing what he's doing and stuff, right? But, so I was walking to my seat. I could feel my mother's eyes. They were burning right through me, man. They were just burning right through me. But, I looked around and everybody was sweating, right? These bugs out here. And this coal stove, once it get going, you got to let that burn out. You can't just let that thing, it's got to die out on its own. And see, that was the problem. They put too much coal in that coal stove. We was only in there no more than an hour and a half. And, I mean, this furnace was blasted. Like, you could have, I'm going to tell you how hot it was. You could have made that into a steel mill. It was just that hot. I mean, we sweat in there, and we sweating profusely, man. That's heavy sweat. I mean, profusely and stuff. Felt like volcano heat. So church finally let out, and my mother hustled me to the car and gave me those famous words, boy, don't you ever embarrass us like that again. I'm thinking in my mind, if it wasn't so darn hot in there, I wouldn't be fidgeting in church, and I would, could focus and stuff, and the deacon wouldn't be over there in a deep coma, and then maybe I could pay attention. Once again, in my mind. But for some reason, we got home, I didn't get the whooping. Maybe that heat zapped all my mother's energy. Or maybe that was just that sun, that light is bright. Maybe there's just a higher force that was protecting me or something like that, So for some reason, the song in my mind all the way home was like, Jesus built a fence around me every day. At least for tonight, I thought, hey, praise the Lord. Hey, true story.